you today, and we've got a lot going on. So today I want to go through what this whole thing is about, who's viewed your profile on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's been busy, and I saw this a few weeks ago, but I thought, I there's not anything there. And then I thought, well, maybe we should at least talk about it. And it opened up this huge conversation that we need to have about who's viewed your profile. So we're going to do that first. Then we're going to go into the mistakes that I see are me. I mean, I make them, your colleagues making them. Actually, where this came from was someone bringing this up in a networking meeting about business building, and yet it so applies to our clients, especially since now we have LinkedIn rolling out this system where it will AI write people's LinkedIn headlines and their summary sections. What do we want to do with that? What do we need to know because of that? And how do we help clients go beyond their profile and really use the system? So that's what we're going to talk about today. You've joined us here on Career Thought Leaders for the now, the new, and the next in careers. If you are on our YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe. We put out not only these live sessions, but also videos on a regular basis that can help you stay up with the now, the new, and the next in careers. Let's dive into what's going on with the who's viewed your profile piece on LinkedIn. We'll talk a little bit about why that's important. So I got a message in a LinkedIn notification a few weeks ago that they had taken away the visibility for free accounts to see who's viewed your profile. And I didn't see it anywhere else, so I thought this isn't a thing. But then in our certified digital branding group, we get together every third Thursday, and Denise Bittler said, Marie, I think this is a thing. We should check it out. So I wanted to just see what other people were seeing and get some more info on it. And here's the thing. We've been talking about this since 2017, 2016. William Arruda started talking about how to be a sleuth when you're searching on LinkedIn and not let people see that you're searching. And so I kind of have assumed that you'd all be bored if we talked about this. But what I'm finding out today is that you will not be bored because there's a lot of people that still either don't know about this feature or maybe aren't using it. And because this glitch has happened where it disappeared for a little bit, we need to talk about what you can do and how you can turn this back on. Drop me a note, say hello in the chat. And as we go through this, let me know, yes, you've seen this. Maybe you might not want to admit that you have it, whatever. We've got to talk about this feature and make sure that we're all teaching our clients, because even though we may have been doing this since 2017, they are brand new. And like I said, I assumed you all would be bored if I talked about this. You know what happens when we assume. So let's not do that. Let's just talk about it and see where we go. Okay, first thing is that the who's viewed your profile feature on LinkedIn has two aspects to it. It has different functionality depending on what you are showing, and functionality depending on what other people have said they will show. So we're going to go to the profile really quick here, maybe, and just look at where you turn this on and off. So here's my profile on LinkedIn. And the way that this works is under your privacy settings and privacy. And this is whether you've got a free account or a paid account. Under settings and privacy, you will get to choose how people see you. It's over here under visibility. I'm doing this on my desktop. It'll look a little different on your phone, but it does the same things. So over here under visibility, I have to first set my own. So under visibility, this is the part that you can toggle on and off when you're researching if you don't want someone to know that you've viewed their profile. So I can come in here under profile viewing, and you can see that my name and headline are going to show up when someone else sees that I viewed their profile. I leave mine that way all the time, but you may have job seekers that don't necessarily want someone to see that they're looking at their profile, so they come in here and turn it off. When you turn this off, like, so if I chose profile characteristics or private mode, when I choose either of those options, I automatically don't get to see anything about who has viewed my profile. I have to be set in the name and headline to be able to see who's viewed my profile. Now, the thing that happens in the free account is like if you just play around like I just did, it will wipe out your history and you won't get to see the last 5 people when you make those toggles. So don't go playing around with this unless you really want to, because it'll wipe your history in the free account when you just play around with it like that. What happened, we think, is there was a glitch in LinkedIn, and even if you didn't toggle to these other options, you automatically kind of got toggled to that option and you no longer got to see who's viewing your profile. So that's what we think happened, is that it isn't a change in LinkedIn. And I researched and researched and tried to find, like, is this a real change? But I couldn't find anything. So I just had to throw it out to there to you all and see. But this is really important because it is a two-pronged thing. So it's you've got to be set to let people see your stuff, and then they have to be set to let you see their stuff, right? So if you have yours set to name and headline, but they have theirs set to something else, you still won't get to see their information. So I'm going to show you a few things of where to go there. Now, if you have creator mode on, the place that you will see, and this has changed recently, at least for me, everybody's is different, which is a pain in the tuchus, but um, so up here on analytics and tools is where I see who's viewed my profile. Or if you're in premium, you can do that down here under your premium features. Maybe it's right here. All 5 resources. Nope. So I don't know. They keep moving it around, but right here at very top, if you're in creator mode, it'll be up here at the top, analytics and tools. And even if you're non-creator mode, it might be there for you. For some other free accounts, it's down here in this resources area as those who viewed your profile. We'll look at a picture of that in a minute. But that's the number one thing, is to be able to see who viewed. You have to be showing when you view. That's the thing. Now, again, this glitch happened where people, even who had not changed their features, weren't able to see anything with the free account. Now, what always worries me about LinkedIn is that when a glitch like this happens, you wonder, is this just a glitch or is this something they're testing? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what comes of this. But I do just want to show you a few other things that have been happening. So I want to show you, actually, let me see here. Okay. So this is what initially kicked off the challenge, is that people were seeing this in their who's viewed your profile area, even though they didn't think they had turned off their side of the views. So this is typically what you see when you have marked that second option of only show people my industry and things. Then you'll see this in the free version. But this was kind of the default that people were going back to, even if they had not selected that option. If well, again, as far as we can tell, if you go into your profile and reset your profile visibility, what we were just looking at, back to showing your name and picture, you should get your 5 views back in the free version, where you can see the last 5 people who have viewed your profile. Instead of this, which is again what you get if you select that middle option. It seemed to kind of default back to that. So if you are working with a client, so like, Marie, why does this matter, right? Why does it matter if I can see who viewed my profile? So I'd love to hear from you. Are you helping people do anything with those views, etc. But last thing that I want to show you here is, if you have that free version and you have your name and picture showing, this is what you should see in that area of who's viewed your profile. And Lawrence, for sending this to me, I blanked everything out. So you only get to see if you've got it turned on and these other people have got it turned on. So you can see there were 2 people, the top and the bottom, where they were sharing their information too. So I could see their picture, I could see their name. Those are blanked out with the blue blanks. And then 3 people had theirs set to only show the general information. So I can't see theirs even though I've got mine turned on. Does that make sense? Um, so thinking about how you can do this, it's it's being able to see these. Now on the free account too, I took a screenshot of where you find this on the free account in the phone. Um, but in the phone for the free account non-creator mode, it's right there under analytics. Since I've got creator mode turned on, mine looks a little bit different, and the analytics is there on the top, or is someone saying it's on the left-hand side. But it looks different on everybody's phone, which is frustrating. But it's in the free account, no creator mode, it's still under analytics, as you can see right under the person's name. In a creator mode account, it's either on the side on the homepage or at the very top when you're clicked onto your profile, which is confusing. It took me a while to find it again. Okay, so that's the view profile. You've got to have yours turned on, and you can only see other people's who has theirs turned on, and you only get 5 if you have a free account. Why would this matter? Why would you care? What would you want to do with this? Well, there's a few different things that you could do with it. One, you could reach out to that person. Thank you for viewing my profile. I'd love to connect. It could be a little forward, a little creepy, or it could be perfect depending on the situation. If a recruiter views your profile, if a recruiter viewed your profile, you could reach out and say, saw you viewed my profile. If there's anything I could do to help you fill a need that you have, let me know. So it's not necessarily me, right? But maybe I've got someone I can introduce them to, or etc. The other thing you could do if you don't want to send that person a message and say thank you for viewing my profile, you could find their profile, see if they're active, and start engaging. They are obviously interested in your profile. That doesn't mean that you need to send them a message. That might be a little too forward for some people. You could go and start engaging on their content and seeing if you can build a relationship that way. So here that walks us into the mistakes that I see when people start trying to use networking for LinkedIn for networking. The first thing is that the profile is set up, even if you don't have creator mode on, the profile is set up to highlight your activity. The first thing I see when I go into your profile is your activity. And if it says so and so hasn't posted in 30 days, you've missed out on a huge opportunity. Now, you don't have to post to have activity show up. You can comment, but nothing makes it impossible to network with you. It feels like a waste of my time because you're not even there, or maybe you're not real. So I would encourage your clients and you that if you're using LinkedIn to try to build community, which we'll talk about why that's important here in a second. If you're using LinkedIn to try to build community, you've got to have something in that activity section of your profile so that people know that you're there, that you're real, that they can see what your engagement looks like, and they can actually start to get an idea of who you are through those engagements. And that brings me to the second mistake that people make when they're using LinkedIn for networking, is that they don't treat the comments like a conversation. When you are commenting, especially if you're not posting, those comments are what people are using to gauge your expertise. Remember, they're on top. In some profiles, they're even on top of the about section, but even if they're under the about section, they're under 2 lines of text, and I'm going to see them right away. And in fact, they're going to become more visible and visual if LinkedIn makes the changes that they're talking about making with your profile, and even your comments will show up as little visual thumbnails, just like your activity does. So what happens now is that I'm going to your comments, I'm clicking through your comments before I ever read your profile. And if all of your comments are congratulations, or that's great, or totally off topic to what your expertise is, I'm learning nothing about you. So I was just on a call last week with a coach that's frustrated. She was trying to use a messaging campaign through LinkedIn to build her business. When you send somebody a message on LinkedIn, the first thing they're doing, well, if they don't feel like it's spam and they completely delete it, but the first thing they're doing is going to your profile. They maybe skim your about if it's on top, and then they go right to your activity. When I went to her activity, what I saw was very nice comments, but nothing that connected to her expertise. This is where my 3-part comment formula comes in. And it doesn't have to be all the time, but the majority of your comments, you want to use this formula. So you connect or congratulate the person. You want to have some kind of collegiality with people. I really enjoyed your thought about this. Or thank you for bringing up this conversation. If you don't agree with them, you don't have to pretend to agree with them, but you want to make some kind of collegial connection comment with them when you started out, and preferably tag them in that comment because that way they'll see your comment. Then you want to use a sentence or a story to share your expertise. Now, this we have to do carefully because if you start promoting yourself on someone else's post, you're out, right? People don't like that. The person that posted doesn't like it, but even the people that are reading it feels a little bit weird for you to come in and overdo the self promotion on someone else's post. So that's why the connection at the first sentence is important. And then you're adding just a little bit about your expertise. Then the third part, maybe the third sentence, it could be 3 sentences, is that you're connecting back to that person. You're starting some kind of conversation. You ask them a question so that they'll respond. You tag someone else into the conversation who you think might be interested and get engaged in the conversation. It's some way to continue the conversation, to grow that relationship right there in the comments. But now, when I'm looking at your profile and I look at your activity, I see those kinds of comments that not just show me that you're a, friendly, great person, which is important, but also weave in a little bit of your expertise every time I see it. And now, even if I haven't read the rest of your profile, I will get an idea of your expertise and be more interested in going back and reading the rest of the profile. So it's not that we've got to post a bunch. I mean, you don't really have to create that much content, but if you're engaging in the comments, make sure that most of the time you're going beyond just a few words. I agree, those types of things, because that isn't adding to the conversation. So the third mistake that I see people making is that when they go to start building their network, they aren't actually even trying to network. They're just setting up their profile. And what you'll see is happening, and I think I mentioned this, that LinkedIn is rolling out their AI, which will write the headline, write the summary section. So everyone is going to have a keyword optimized headline. Everyone's going to have a keyword optimized about section. That won't work anymore. We have to be intentional about creating community to grab attention. And Mark Simon talked about this in our career jam this year, right before ChatGPT was even released, that if you want to grab attention, it's all about having a relationship. Think there's tons of content produced every single day, but who do you read? Who do you follow? It's the people you trust because you have a relationship with them. We want our clients to be the same thing. We don't want them to just go out and start creating content. It's going to get lost in the sea and may not even make a difference. We don't want them to just worry about optimizing their profile. We want them to be intentional about creating a community, whether that's on LinkedIn or, I'm a big fan of Facebook groups or Twitter. It really doesn't matter which platform, but it's that community building that then they become a known quantity, and it isn't about optimizing their profile anymore. It's about the fact that that recruiter already knows you, or that hiring manager already knows you because you're engaging in the professional community. Heck, it could even be offline in a professional event. It doesn't even have to be online. You're using those professional communities as an opportunity to build relationships, become known, help other people, like actually be engaged too, and be more fulfilled, because we want that community in our lives. And it fits both buckets, right? You get the whatever, two birds with one stone, because you're building that community that will help you throughout your professional life. And then it also means that you're more likely to get that attention, be that known quantity when you are trying to get found on LinkedIn. So I hope that will help you as you work with your clients and as you talk to them about why it's important. Obviously, it's still important for them to have a differentiated profile with stories about their background and not just a, LinkedIn algorithm keyword optimized thing. This is not going to capture any attention as soon as everybody else starts using it, especially. So that profile is still important, but it's not going to be enough. They've got to get out there and build those relationships so that they're a first level connection or a second level connection when that recruiter is doing their search. And perhaps even have had a conversation with them in the comments. We're not talking about, you having to reach out in a messaging, but you're having those conversations in the community so that you're already known, liked, and trusted when the person's doing their search. And yes, your profile is optimized so you pop up top, but you've had the other things that are going to help you stand out above and beyond that profile. Now, those of you that, thank you for sharing. Okay, awesome. So, no experiences that young people are told to turn it off for privacy. Yes, you can turn it on and off. Interesting. Um, Excellent. All right. Perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Add your phone number. That'd be up to you if you wanna add your phone number, you can put those things in your summary section. I'm a big fan of putting them at the bottom, not the top. Please don't put those things in your headline or your name area. Can actually get you kicked off of LinkedIn to do those, and I just don't think it's necessary to take that risk. So, some of you know that we have our digital branding class coming up. It starts April 6th. If you want to have a process for helping clients do this type of community building, going much beyond their profile, although we talk about the profile, we talk about how to set that up in a way that stands out, how to use storytelling in that profile. That is where we start. But then we spend 4 weeks talking about how do you use this system to build a network, to build connections, and do it in a way that is strategic. So I know I'm taking my efforts in direction and consistent because it doesn't work if it's not consistent. And it also makes it little steps that people can take and they don't have to start posting content right away. In fact, many of the clients of people in this group, and some of you watching, who just done this with your clients without doing this class, have been through commenting and connecting, not necessarily ever posting a piece of content. So I love that because it makes it easy, it makes it accessible for anyone, whether you're using LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We talk about how you can use this same process, this same technique on any platform to use the platform that's best for our client and where they can best connect with their target companies, which may or may not be LinkedIn. I look forward to hearing from you all if that's helpful and how you start to have your clients build their community on LinkedIn. And again, you can catch us on YouTube. If you go over to the Facebook page, or sorry, the Facebook page, we're on Facebook too, but you go over to LinkedIn and we're on our LinkedIn page on our YouTube channel. And we come back every Tuesday with the now, the new, and the next in careers. So we will see you next Tuesday. Thank you, everyone.